Good afternoon and welcome to ASEAN Midday Market Watch. Our guest today is Stephen Innes. He's the Chief Global Market Strategist at Axie. Steve, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Now, before we speak to you, Steve, and get your insight, let's take a quick look at how markets around the region are performing. Now, it's a sea of green across the region. The Nikkei is trading at 26,786.56. It's up 1.21%. The Shanghai Composite is up 0.06% and trading at 3,412.29. The Hang Seng is trading at 26,639.36, up 1.26%. The ASX 200 is at 6,730.20. It's up 0.64%. And the Kospi is at 2,745.45. It's up 1.65%. Now, closer to home, we have the SGX at 2,842.07. It's up 0.58%. And Bursa Malaysia is trading at 1,647.33. It's up 0.96%. Now, Steve, looking at markets across the region, they're green. What's your take on it? Is it largely due to news of the stimulus package?
Yeah, I think so. I think bulls remain very much in the driving seat right now, and it seems like every time stimulus gets a mention, investors immediately start feeling feeling like Popeye after sucking down a can of spinach. And this is just a constant thing that's going on in this market. Really unbelievable when you think about it, given how bad the unemployment levels are looking in the U.S. It's just completely disassociation between reality and what the markets are doing, and this tells me that it's just a complete and utter stimulus effect that is driving markets right now. And it's not a signal for economic prosperity. It's a signal for stock market prosperity, thanks to the Fed's and government stimulus efforts.
Now, speaking of signals, Steve, the China's consumer price index fell in November for the first time in about a decade, because largely due to obviously food prices dropping. Now, what sort of signals should we read into that?
Yeah, well, it's food prices, and I think it's really because of the reversal in the swine flu, and that's brought pork prices down quite substantially because there's more pork supply around the world right now as that flu has abated. I think, however, it's not going to have any impact on RMB policy management. In other words, the PBOC will not intentionally weaken the yuan, and I don't even think it's going to spur the PBOC into any type of weakness. I think, however, there are some elements here. I think it supports the carry trade in China. I would look for the RMB to appreciate on that fact, which it is. I mean, it had an initial knee-jerk reaction, and then it has moved quite positively. If we look at the producers' price index, that rose. So that's really what the market should be focusing on, not the food effect, given the drop in pork prices, but rather the producers' price index, which continues to lift.
Now, just a couple of hours ago, we had Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, saying that he would not trust treasuries with a 10-foot pole. Now, where would you be putting your money as part of your fixed income asset allocation?
Well, besides under the bed, yeah, I totally agree with him. I'm amazed that the rates aren't exploding higher, given the inflationary signals we're getting from commodity prices, especially. There's such an element of distrust in the market right now that I think investors and traders alike think that we're going to have this stimulus bounce. It's going to carry us, or stimulus and vaccine bounce. It's going to carry us into the first half of Q1 in 2021, but there's a lot of uncertainty where we go from there. Not only that, what are the Feds going to do if inflation continues to rise? Well, that's a problem. We've never seen inflation for the last decade. Are the Feds just going to sit back and twiddle their fingers? That's a great unknown. And people are putting a lot of faith into this notion that the Feds are going to continue to suppress yields. My view is the opposite of the way the market's reading this right now. I think yields are going to lift quite considerably next year, and I think the Feds aren't going to stand in front of them because there'll be no reason to stand in front of them if the economy is continuing to chug along quite normally. I mean, this is a contrarian view to what's going on, and I'm not suggesting this is going to happen immediately. I'm looking more towards the latter stages of 2021, where I think there's going to be some pressure put on the 2022 yield curve as far as what the Feds are going to do. So we will see a repricing of the Fed curve towards the end of 2021, in my view.
Now, yesterday, and it's still hanging over the markets, there was nervousness about Brexit negotiations, which are going to the wire as usual. Now, what's your view on this, and where are the possible opportunities for profitable trades in the
Well,
near future?
I'm just hoping it's over. I'm quite sick of it. I remember what 4 or 5 years of this now going on, and yeah, it is a nail biter, but is it really a nail biter? We're looking at the pound right now. It's still trading very resilient. It says to me that the markets pretty much feel that the deal is going to go through. That seems to be the current signal. There'll be some sort of negotiation going on. I look for more of a soft Brexit deal rather than an all-inclusive Brexit deal. So there's going to be a little bit of politicking involved here. The pound, where does it go from here? Well, I think it's a US dollar weakness trade right now, and it's getting support by the fact that the vaccine is rolling out in the UK first. Those are positive given the large sector, the large servicing sectors element in Britain, and that's a positive right now. Well, is that sustainable? Probably not. Look at what the Bank of England's telling us. They're looking at entertaining negative interest rates. That suggests to me that they do not think the economy is in any good standing, regardless of the vaccine coming out. So I'd be looking to be a seller of the pound after the initial Brexit ban, looking for the pound to move back to the 130 or even below level as we move through early parts of 2021.
Hey, Steve, thanks for your time and insights. We've been speaking to Stephen Innes, Chief Global Market Strategist at AXI, on BizTech's ASEAN Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez. Check out www.biztech.asia for business and technology conversations. Now, this video will also be on our Facebook and LinkedIn.